Hi, I'm Eric Kimball. If you're a subscriber to this channel, you know that I typically make how-to videos, but this one's going to be different. I'm going to tell you how not to do something. Specifically, I'm going to instruct you on how not to remove a very large splinter should you be unfortunate enough to get one. But first, I want to talk about splinters in general, because if you work with your hands, if you work in the building trades, if you work with wood, you're going to get splinters. That's par for the course, and you should be equipped to take care of those splinters, to remove them. I'm not talking the large splinters, I'm talking the everyday run-of-the-mill little splinters or moderately large splinters. And a few years ago, I made one of these Whizbang Splinter Removal Kits that you see right here. And I made a video about this. And this box, which I'm going to show you the interior of momentarily, is designed to go in the bookcase, so it's always there when I need it. I go to the bookcase, pull out the splinter removal kit, and I've got what I need. And since making this, and I made one for each of my sons for their families, I have used this. My wife has used this. My kids tell me they use theirs all the time. This is a good idea. I mean, I have a lot of ideas. Some are not so good. This was a good one. Let's zoom up here. I want to show you the interior of this kit, the tools and the equipment that's in here, and then after that, we'll talk about how not to remove a very large splinter. Here is a quick overview of the Whizbang Splinter Removal Kit. Whizbang, of course, is a dictionary word that means conspicuous for speed, excellence, or startling effect. And here is the kit right here. I've got a little bit of tape. I've got some Prid drawing salve here. We have a magnifying glass, Neosporin. I've got some gauze right here. That was much more on there when I made the kit, but I have used some. And here is a good pair of tweezers. Of course, you're going to need tweezers for splinters, scissors for the tape and the gauze, and then finally we have right here the amazing Splinter Liberator. That's what it's called, a Splinter Liberator. Okay, and it's a sharp, tapered, pointed instrument that you see right there. See that? Awesome tool, the right tool for the job. This Splinter Liberator works far better than a needle, which is what, when I grew up, my mother always used to dig out splinters. Over here we have the good quality Band-Aids. And since making this kit, I have added underneath the butterfly bandages. And these are not necessarily for splinters, but they are nice to have. And also I have a carpenter's scalpel right here. And I have these, now that I have grandchildren, you can't see it, but these are the little Paw Patrol Band-Aids. These, if they get a boo-boo, your 3 and 4 year old grandchild gets a boo-boo, you put one of these on and it just makes it all better. By the way, Paw Patrol works a whole lot better than those Disney Band-Aids. So that's a quick overview. So now I'm going to tell you how not to remove a very large splinter. And this information comes from an experience that I had when I worked in the building trades many years ago. Almost all my stories that I tell on this channel are from many years ago. That's the way it is when you're an old timer. I was helping to build a large pole barn. I think it was a horse arena. And we were putting up 6x6 pressure-treated posts. Southern yellow pine, pressure-treated 6x6 is quite long, and one person was not doing this. It was several guys. And our boss was helping us. Our boss was Jack. And I worked for Jack for 4 years. He gave me a lot of responsibility. It was a great experience. He was a mentor to me. And among other things, he inadvertently taught me how not to remove a large splinter. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. So we had to take these very long 6x6s. We had to tip them up, like lifting the flagpole at Iwo Jima. We had to push them down into the footing, onto the footing in the hole, and lift them up. and they were heavy, and so it was a bunch of us. So we're all lifting this thing up, and Jack's got his hands on the 6x6 pressure-treated pole. And as it's going up, he slides his hands down because, you know, as it goes up, you go down lower. And when he did that, he got a splinter in his finger. And I'm going to close up now and show you a facsimile of the splinter. This right here is what the splinter looked like. This is 2.5 inches long, comes to a point over here, of course. This end is nearly 1/4 of an inch. This went into Jack's finger. As he slid his hand down the pole, it went right under his skin like this. I think it was more on the side here. And it was buried. This end right here was buried. And up here, there was a little bit of the point sticking out. So it was like a splint on his finger. Okay, and yeah, so that was the situation. Well, that was a real shocker. And Jack was standing there looking at his finger. He wasn't panicking or anything. He was looking at it, and I'm sure he was thinking to himself, what do I do now? And all of us guys were standing around looking at his finger and thinking, wow, I'm glad that didn't happen to me. And I thought to myself that I needed to do something. So I had a pair of pliers just like these in my tool belt. And I said, Jack, let me pull that out. And he put his finger towards me, and I grabbed on to the point of that splinter, and I started to pull. And Jack goes, ah! I let go, and he's like this, he's looking at it, and he decides he better go to the doctor. And we were not far from a small town doctor, and a little while later, Jack comes back. The splinter is gone. The doctor removed it, and the doctor informed him, and he informed me, Jack informed me, he said, Herrick, you never pull a splinter through. This is what the doctor told me, because they're tapered. You want to back them out. That's how you get a big splinter out. You back it out. You don't pull it through. So I felt kind of bad about that, but Jack and I are still friends, and that is the story of how you do not remove a big splinter. I'm wondering, in closing here, if you might have a splinter story of your own, and if you do, I hope you'll put it in the comments. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.